Yeah, Richie Rich here, coming to you from Vietnam. And you deserve to be free. So, today I'm going to talk about strength. But talking about inner strength and what it takes to move forward, especially when in my situation where I kind of was growing up. I didn't have a lot of inner strength. I was always the follower, leader, and I never really, never really took chances, put it that way. I remember one time I was had this great idea, not a great idea, but there's one thing when I grew up on the farm, is that I always enjoyed running the farm equipment. Always enjoyed it. I would skip school. I would do anything just to run a tractor or whatever had to be done outside regarding running equipment. Usually that's what it was. Most of the time it was tractors and mowing lawn, like riding lawnmower, that kind of stuff. Like I was doing that stuff when I was 9, 10 years old, starting. So I really kind of liked that, and that's where I was at peace with myself. That's where I was alone, because I'm more of a natural born leader. So I was always around, even though I was doing my own thing at the own time. And I really enjoyed doing that. And to this day, I still enjoy the agriculture equipment. I grew up on a hog farm, but the hogs were okay, but I didn't really care for them too much. It was part of the family life. Some people grew up on the family farm, and that was what's dealt you. So that's what you had to live with. So, and I tried a lot of adventures too, growing up in my teens and 20s. Got into other opportunities when I was still working. I worked for my parents, and that was another thing. That when I was growing up, I worked for my parents, and that really takes away your freedom to a certain point, because there's always that certain expectations that you're supposed to do and adhere to. So, and that's where I didn't develop a lot of strength. I don't think, because you grow up working for mom and dad, and you just kind of, they're really your leaders got to be, and I felt, not at the time, but looking back, I think I didn't develop my own style of leadership of my own. And everybody needs to develop their own leadership, because so you can stand up strong and move forward in your life with whatever decision you want. So that would go regarding maybe one point taking over the farm, and then that didn't work out because of situations with my parents. So it was just, then I had other jobs as well. One was farm related. Near the end, the last job I had was farm related at a grain elevator. So I always liked that kind of work, but like I said, you're always following someone else. And even though I had a lot of freedom on the job and a lot of responsibility and stuff like that, and it was good, and great people to work for, I just still don't want to go back to that type of work, at least that company anymore. Great people, no, don't get me wrong, but I was there long enough, and that's the thing. When you're in a situation where you've been there a long time and things are not, it's the same old, and that you can put that into relationships. You can put that in, especially marriage. Put that in with family stuff. I remember even my family when I was before I divorced from my ex and family. It was the same holidays, same ritual, day in, day out. It was gotta go to this person's for birthdays. This was for Christmas. Gotta go to this family for Thanksgiving, and back and forth. And it was the same old. Then you had mixed families and mixed two sides of the family, and you had to figure that out. And it was just daunting. And near the end, when I left, it was just a weight off my shoulders. I didn't have to think about it or worry about it anymore. It was just always trying tiptoeing around other people, making them feel or happy because you're there. And like I said before, it's not your business what people think of you. And unfortunately, people, you think you're hurting. They think you're hurting them when you're saying no, but that's not the case. So yeah, so that comes from strength. And as I said before, when I was growing up the farm, I enjoyed the agriculture equipment, but it's just everything was just not going the way it should have been near the end. And I had a trucking job, and I didn't like the trucking job because I got into trucking, but I'm not saying it wasn't my first love by any means. I'm glad I had the license, but on the other hand, it was, even though it gives you some freedom on the road, I just couldn't take the whole traffic thing. It was just too not free at all. It's just, so you got to find. So as you can see, I had a lot of situations in my life where I felt constrained, and people are going to have their own constraints as well. And obviously everybody's different. So depending on your job and your family, and some people love family adventure, and they just love that kind of stuff. And yeah, so it's not, but some people don't. And then all of a sudden people get offended because you're not participating in societal or family norms, what you're expected to do. And it's all right, don't get me wrong, it's all right to have a family. I don't have a family now. Well, I do have a family, but I mean, I'm single now. Had a couple of relationships, but still nothing's working out to what I want it to be. But yeah, so like I said, when I was growing up, it was just all these pressures, not pressures, but all these you think you're think you're obligated to be with that person or that family or that situation, that job, those friends, and everything else. If you don't do this, you'll be ostracized and all that kind of stuff. And there's a lot of that. I see that in a lot of religions. So I just didn't like all these constraints, and then when I was married in the living in the home, and near the end things weren't going well. But even before then, early 2000s and stuff, it was the same old with the neighbors and everything. It was the same old. It's like, gotta see the neighbors, gotta do this, gotta do that, and it's like, I just, enough's enough. I love the neighbors, but it's just, you're just not getting ahead. That's what I find, you're just not getting ahead. So I just took the big push. I had to leave my relationship. There was some stress on that, but and of course when we leave and start something new, you got more stresses, different stresses. But and for me, it's just a sense of freedom for me. I had my sense of freedom and peace at that. So, and that was that's how that was going on that end of it. So, yeah, and you heard my story from before about my, how I got over here to Vietnam. But yeah, it's just, I just find the whole society thing just not flowing for me personally. Like, I just didn't care. Like, everybody wants to drink beer on, not everybody obviously, but I mean, where I was, a lot of people want to party on Friday and Saturday nights, and I didn't really. I did it once in a while, and just sometimes a little social, but it was just not going. It's just not going anywhere, and you got to step back and look. Okay, I was at this neighbor's place for the last once or twice a week for the last how many weeks, all the time, not getting out, not meeting people, or doing something different. And so, yeah, that comes down to strength again, to stand up to those type of situations and decide enough's enough, to move forward with your life, and so you can do something different. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm in Vietnam and doing some other projects, doing some online marketing and doing some trading, and as I said before, I'm heading to Mexico. So I'm dealing with, hopefully, I will be seeing, well, we'll see what happens. I don't think my family's been seeing my YouTube clips, but that's what my plan is, to go to Mexico. And that comes up in 3 weeks, tomorrow. So there's lots of stuff to get ready still, and packing will start in another week or two, some semi-packing. But yeah, and it's going to be a bit of a challenge, I have to admit, because I'm going there and I know no one, absolutely know no one, by myself. Maybe my buddy says he's coming. I'm still not totally convinced that he is. But a lot of reasons why I'm leaving Vietnam, and as I said, I don't care for this green pass and all these, still in very restrictive modes here in cafes and stuff, and I'm stuck in the city, and I want to. I said I grew up before on the farm, so I want to get away from that city life. To a certain extent, because I just don't. I want to be. I'm going. Obviously, I'm going into a city, but eventually, I want to get into more of a rural property and be access to a city that's fairly close. Could be 5 to 15 minutes away. That's no problem for me. But so we'll see how things go. So anyway, today's thing was about strength, standing up and looking back and at what your life was like, and see where your weaknesses and what you did or didn't do, and how you overcame them, as far as when you recognize certain things. Or even right now, maybe you're looking back at your life and say, yeah, I remember I should be changing. So anyway, I got this book called Manifest What Loves You. You can email me at courageousrich@gmail.com, and we will talk to you later. Bye for now.